Are you Mandalorian?
I'm a simple man making his way through the galaxy, like my father before me.
3 Men and a Baby Yoda podcast. Matthew, Dylan, Callan.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 31 of the 3 Men and a Baby Yoda podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Mole, and joining me tonight are my two co-pilots, Callan Gardner and Dylan Chikalis. Callan, how are you, mate?
I'm good. I've been loving dipping the toe back into the Star Wars realm.
Mm-hmm.
Even a few games and different bits and pieces this week while I recovered from COVID and a bit of school holidays. So, no, it's been good, man. Dill, talk to me. How are you going?
Good, man. I'm dreading this is my last day before I go back to work. So, Matt's customers are waiting for me. So I'm
Matt's still off, aren't you?
Yeah, Matt's off till February.
3 more weeks. 3 more weeks. That's why I'm so relaxed, man. So relaxed in my dungeon.
But no, I'm good. I'm really happy. We've got Star Wars content again, enjoying it all. So
just quickly, speaking of Star Wars content, your Mando watch race. I bet you where you guys at? Where are you at?
What are you talking about?
No progress.
No progress.
No progress.
Bob Fett. What are you
guys
talking about?
Seriously, you guys commit to something and then you don't even see it through. So
it's a peter out. Leave it. Let it leave it.
That being said, still haven't finished the Thrawn book. Moving on. Joining us tonight, we are very lucky with the host of 2 podcasts, Star Wars Spelt Out and Peppa Pig, my Star Wars Celebration bunkmate, depending on travel, Omicron, and our good friend who returns, Mr. Joshua Chapman. How are you, buddy?
Oh, good. How you going, guys? Callan, I'm really sorry to hear that you got COVID, mate. I'm just trying to remember last time I'm on, were we talking about kidney stones? Because I got a kidney stone and you... was that you? I can't remember.
Yeah.
What it was. Yeah,
that was me.
We got like an album, and I just had a COVID scare this week where I thought I'd got it because 2 of my best mates got it, and I managed to dodge it like I'm in the Matrix or something. But I'm sorry to hear that, mate. I hope you're okay.
No, it wasn't too bad. It was the most disappointing thing is I was in Queensland. And now it's been a pass, but I got a positive, and I drove from Queensland in 12 hours with COVID, absolutely hating life. From the Gold Coast to Sydney because I didn't want that bitch up there to lock me up.
So wait a second. Wait a second. You get COVID, and the first thing, your natural instinct is to drive back into this state at the fastest rate possible.
Well, yeah, because I didn't want to be. The rules up there changed with the wind, so I didn't want to be stuck going to hotel quarantine or any of that. I was with my granddad. And it's a bit dangerous. I didn't want to be near my family, so we just beelined it back home. But yeah, a bit of a last week in the rainy New South Wales, which is a shit house, but yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for asking.
2 of my best mates got it, and one like barely registered, like he's been fine, and the other one's been really crook. So I've been on this text chain with them, and the other one's like, oh yeah, we just been out kicking the ball in the backyard, no worries. And the other one's going, yeah, I just opened a packet of salt vinegar chips and I can't taste anything, so that's great. So I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, bunkmates. Well, we won't be bunkmates, Matt. You will have your own bed. I'm sorry if that wasn't made clear enough.
God help you with your bunkmates. God,
that's all right.
I feel sorry for you.
I didn't actually think we were going to be sleeping in bunk beds like upstairs and downstairs, like B1 and B2, but like...
Aren't you guys sleeping in the same bed?
Sharing an Airbnb.
Yeah. Oh, me and Turbo...
I've travelled with Matt.
No.
You don't want to do that.
Fuck off.
Me and Turbo did share a bunk room at Celebration Chicago, but there were 2 sets of bunks and we had our own beds. So I guess technically we shared bunks, kind of, but we were in our own bunks.
It'd be weird if one of you took the top and the other, and there was a spare bunk.
There was a spare bunk. I just feel more comfortable. I feel more comfortable knowing that I'm sleeping above you, Turbo. Like, sorry.
Well, you two seem to be...
Is that confirmed? Is that confirmed? Sorry? You going, Matt?
At this stage, yeah. Matt Grant needs to process the transfer, but he's done all the...
So he's not going
100% not going.
That was up in the air.
And, yeah, I'm in.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So just need the world to sort itself out, and fuck, I'm not going to breathe anything in before. I'm just going to hold my breath the entire plane trip there. I'll probably get it in the first taxi there or something.
You're probably better to get it before you go, to be honest. You should have just gone over to Callan's place and hung out with him for a bit.
Lick all the saucepans or something, you know?
Yeah, just got the saucepans, sleep in a bunk bed together or something. And just to get it out of the way.
In his mouth and 100%.
Well, no, I had my
I
had my booster shot this week, and I've been napping. I mean, I laid it on for an extra couple of days because my wife was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm a bit tired, you know. Just gonna sit on the couch and watch the cricket, you know. My arm hurts." And then I had a few naps, so I think I just played the part really well. And good game.
Take that as a win.
Good game today, but this last 5 days.
It was a cracker.
Do you think we declared too late,
baby? You can't beat Test cricket. No, a day. You got a day in the last session, an hour in the last day to bowl a team out. That's enough time, especially considering the way they've been batting.
Where's the sandpaper when you need it?
Ooh. We don't talk about that anymore, Dylan. That's not cool. So tell me, Josh, how was your New Year's? How's your time off been?
Yeah, it was cool. Was it New Year's? I was down at a place called Inverloch over New Year's, which is a beach town about an hour and a half away from Melbourne. It's about 20 minutes from where I grew up. My parents have got a house down there. It was actually a bunch of my friends decided they were going to go down there for New Year's, so it was quite handy because my parents had a house there already. So I was like, great, all right, we'll go down there. And New Year's Eve, I went and saw my dad's band play at the pub. So they were playing at a pub just down the road from where we were staying. So my dad still plays in a band with his mates. They're all in their 60s. Cool. They're still rocking out. So we went down. Cool. They were playing on the deck out. So they had like an outdoor deck looking out over the beach down at this place called Kilcunda. And yeah, we went and did that. A few mates came down. So we had to sort of do someone has to stay home with the kids. Somebody gets to go out and watch the band on New Year's. But luckily Kat went for that and she got to go and do something else the next night. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was good. Although I think that might have been where my mates got COVID. It's very possible because they were both there. It seems like the most likely spot. But I got my booster as well. So I reckon that's what, I just deflected off me and they got it. So.
Sure. I'm sure if you with your wife that you can say, look, I should be going out New Year's Eve. You've won a premiership this year, a drought-breaking premiership. Let me go out and salvage the year somewhat, whatever I can. You've had your moment.
Yeah, there's a bit of that, but she's been down here with the kids. Like I said, I had to go back to Melbourne when I thought I had COVID, and they weren't really behaving. So as soon as I was all clear, I was like, all right, I'm coming back. Don't worry. I'm not going to, I didn't just kind of go, it's pretty quiet in the house. I'm going to go back and help out. So I had to, pay my dues, all that kind of stuff.
Just imagine first 40 minutes back in. Oh, my throat's a bit scratchy. I might just head back to Melbourne.
Yeah. We didn't have an extra car. I had to take the train back and everything. So it was,
Just give everyone else go.
That's even more risky.
Well, that was I know. No, well, I had the mask on. I sat alone and I'd already taken a negative that morning. It was more just like it had amped up. But yeah, but it's not fun. It's most as much of a pain in the ass not having it and having to do everything else. Like I might as well have got it. I went to so much trouble mucking around. But anyway.
That's the biggest. You act like you got it. Yeah, you do everything like you got it, but you don't have it.
Yeah, jeez. I know. And which means I still have an opportunity to do all that again soon of like being inconvenienced in case I get another friend who gets it.
Well, they're saying, it's everyone's going to get it at some stage, and we haven't hit the peak yet. They said end of the month is going to be just mental. I mean, we're already seeing food disappear and toilet paper's gone, and I don't know. I saw an article today saying,
I got the email off the CEO from Woolies, we're mates, and he said, just relax. It's to do with there's no short supply. It's the freight.
Yes,
it's all sitting there. It just might take another day.
Yeah, we're mates. He emails me all the time.
Well, I'll have to pick up that name you just dropped there, Cal.
The CEO of Woolworths.
Walter Woolies.
I don't actually know his name.
So
Walter Woolworths.
Get my toilet paper for free.
Can I get some paracetamol delivered? So, Dylan, we glossed over this last week. You mentioned there were some acquisitions, and I didn't come back to you on this. Were these Star Wars acquisitions?
What acquisitions? What did I get?
We're talking about crypto. We're not talking about crypto. What are we talking about?
No.
Hey, has anyone bought any Star Wars? Josh, got any new Star Wars stuff?
I've got a couple. I think the last time I was here, I was talking about how I was trying to get out of Black Series. So I've basically decided. Well, no, what I've decided to. I'm just going to complete, because I think I told the story how I got that big haul of all the orange and blue line Black Series ones. So, so there was a few gaps.
You robbed someone.
An Asian lady.
No. She sold it fair and square. So I basically decided I'm going to complete that line, and then that'll be a good sort of full stop. And be like, all right, I've got those.
How many more do you have?
I've got. Well, I had a few of the gaps. So, and they were like some of the big ones. So, like your Anakin Skywalker, your Slave Leia, R2D2. So I've got all of those now. So I got the Anakin and the Slave Leia over Christmas. I think I need a Leia Bush one, and I've got a Darth Maul waiting, but the seller looks really flaky and slightly shonky, so I don't know whether that's going to happen or not. I think that one...
Are they all boxed up? They're all in box, eh?
Yeah, they're all in boxes, yeah. So there's a Leia Bush, a Darth Maul, and I think some random one like a tie-up fighter pilot, which I should be able to get. You know, I'm kind of going, if I can't get them here, I should be able to probably get them at Celebration from some sort of reseller or something if I have to. And then I think once I do that, I'll start clearing out some of the black box... So some of the red box stuff. And I got, what else did I get? Oh, I got an SF Fig Arts Luke Skywalker, Jedi Luke, because I've just sort of got my little Jedi Luke sort of, line of stuff. So I've been trying to get all that stuff. So I got that as well. So I got a few things. I didn't really get anything Star Wars for Christmas. But
I love that the opposite of what you were going to do, you've done. Yeah. You've just collected more and more. Exactly what Matt does.
It doesn't take much.
But I haven't been buying the new line stuff or anything like that. Like all the new stuff I haven't gotten. I don't think I've gotten anything from the new line recently.
I can see just from the chats we've had today that Josh likes to justify things, and he just ticks off things in his head. And if you get enough points or credits or whatever you need to that gets you to where you need to go and justify it, he goes all in.
Yeah. Well, it's good. Like getting the older ones is good because there's still a hunt involved. Yeah.
Half the fun is the hunt. Like talk, what I like to call trawling the sand crawlers for goodies.
Yeah, that's why getting these older ones is quite good because they're out. The older ones are out there, and people are selling them off, and they've actually gone down in price. Some of them actually, which is quite good. Like I actually got I bought a second Slave Leia because someone was just clearing out for really cheap. And I'm just like, I'll just get that because I reckon I'll be able to trade that for something or, I've never seen those, let alone two. So I'll just get it because it was a really good price. There's been a few dudes sort of selling stuff off. It sounds bad. I think maybe COVID related. A lot of them are getting out of the game and clearing some collection and things. So it's good because it means that like if I stick to these ones, there's a certain number and once it's done. I can draw a line under it and, Maybe that'll be it. Maybe I'll just go to the next thing. Work it out.
It's never going to be it. There'll be Book of Boba Fett special stuff, and then this time next year you'll be buying a Hot Toys Sarlacc or something. So,
but at least they're so behind on figures. It's not like there's a book of there's Book of Boba Fett Black Series out now, which there should be. You know what I mean? Like there should be right now, but they're always like a year behind on figures anyway. So even if I was like, oh, that'd be good, in a year's time, it would have been tempered to a point.
I know they don't seem to strike while the iron is hot.
No. They left a Luke Jedi from Mandalorian on the table. Like there's a Black Series Luke. All they had to do was get him, rebox him with a Baby Yoda, and go crazy. People would have been buying it off the shelves. It's just sort of leaving money on the table.
What about you, Callan? Any new acquisitions, Star Wars related?
You got any deal? I've got more of a Star Wars game I've been playing.
Yeah.
Well, mine is just some of the stuff I got for Christmas. So, I got a Boba Fett Funko bobblehead. What else did I get? There's a Star Wars board game. Have you guys heard of
Dark Side Rising?
No, it's called Star Wars.
Escape from the Death Star.
Selfish. It's called.
No, I haven't seen it.
No, so basically it's like a race, right? But you're playing as Vader. You either play as Vader, Fett, Palpatine, or TIE fighter pilot, and Grand Moff Tarkin. So it's a 5-player game, up to 5 players. You've basically got to race through hyperspace, avoiding things like Purgles, asteroid clusters, to find the rebels. Yeah. So you got to, race through the galaxy, but you've got things like ion cannons and stuff to slow each other down. You could run into rebel blockades, and you've got to use fuel. Yeah, it's actually really simple, but
what's
really,
it called?
Really
did you
fun.
say?
Is this a board game or is it a mobile game?
Yeah,
or something?
it's a board card game.
Is it a board game?
Yeah, it is. Very, very cool.
Selfish Star Wars. Sounds like me.
Yes.
I'm gonna have a look-see at that.
Okay. So this one.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to suss that out. Good shout, Bill.
$30 sold out on on cool things.
Got 3 weeks off. Go find it.
Remember that Star Wars Rebellion game I bought? The
what? Oh, yeah, mate from Woolies. Yeah, we'll get on it.
Alrighty, guys. Let's get into the crux of Star Wars content that's keeping this podcast afloat. But quickly, Josh, episode 1, how did it hit you? Give us your AFL 360 in 1 minute flashback.
I can give you Robbo.
Yep.
I thought it was good. I think it did enough to sort of world build. It was a bit short, I thought, and I was probably guilty as a lot of people of expecting the big clang. Here's the
big
twist.
Reveal.
Here's the big sort of big reveal. It didn't happen, but that was fine. Certainly was excited to see where it went next. I was surprised. I was surprised that they had him with his helmet off so much, and the flashbacks went for so long, and all that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I didn't mind the 6R. I didn't mind Goro coming in, and at the end, I thought that was quite cool.
Tatooine's newest animal.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was as impactful as Mandalorian was. That's that first sort of thing, but it certainly the tone was kind of where I thought it would be. I thought everybody in it was really good. And I was sort of excited to see where it went next. So yeah, I think it worked for me. I know that some people sort of poo-pooed it, but
well, yeah. I mean,
what are your thoughts on the Tuskens?
I like the Tuskens. I like that there were different tribes. There were different designs. I thought the tents and the outfits were cool. I thought that they were a bit more sophisticated than probably some of the other tribes and stuff. So I quite like that. I'm
not just raiders anymore.
Sorry?
Yeah. They're not just raiders anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not. But they're just, I don't say they're everyday people, but even aggressive, tribes of any sort of thing aren't always at each other's throats all the time. It's usually when they feel threatened or provoked or whatever like that. And the Tuskens have had a pretty rough time historically by the sound of things. So no wonder they've got their defenses up all the time. So yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. I thought that was cool.
For sure, man. For sure. Well, it's quite funny. I was texting Turbo before I think about 15 minutes before the episode was about to drop, and we were just like, what do we hope for? And I was like, I hope it's longer. It'd be great if this was 52 minutes like episode 1 was for Mando. That's the longest episode to date. And then chapter 2 it drops. It's dropping at 6:50, 10 to 7 now our time.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's 6:50 every Wednesday for all of us East Coasters. And
that's prime bedtime,
blown away.
Putting kids to bedtime for us.
I have to. My wife just goes, "You watch," because you can't. My kid goes to sleep about 7. He's finished, bottle bath by 7:45, and I'm just like, "Look, I can't do this." I'm having major FOMO.
You're just pacing in the hall, standing in the doorway, going, "Is this good night?"
But Matt sweats when he's anxious, or excited and anxious about things like this. So if we're to go to a movie, if we're gonna watch, a new episode of Mando or something, Matt gets so excited and hyped up that he starts sweating.
Yeah, it's not the
I've never
energy you
seen a
want when
man
you're
so
about to put a kid to
excited.
bed, is it? Like it's the opposite of the energy you want to portray when it's time for bed. And like, all right, just lie down, you'll be fine. He's just sort of in the corner, jonesing and jiggling around. It's like, oh, Dad's got something exciting going on.
Anakin Skywalker, just before meeting Padme, was sweating, so there's nothing wrong with it, and it's totally cool. That's how I justify that.
I think we'd all be sweating around Padme.
Oh, definitely would be. So the episode, 52 minutes, starts Jabba's palace. We see Fennec and the assassin. We head into Jabba's palace. Bit of dialogue between the assassin and then the what Dylan suggested last week. We might have seen a Rancor and then no Rancor. Dylan had
Rancor prank was one of my favorites.
How did that hit?
I love the Rancor prank.
I was thinking of you this very second, Dylan. How?
Oh man. So picture this, right? I'm sitting watching it with Mia, my girlfriend. We're basically sitting there, and I told Mia, I said, you know, there's a chance Moochie might be here, you know, because of Bib Fortuna and everything. They start releasing the door, the Rancor. I literally raised both hands and shouted, "Yes!" And then there was nothing.
Pranks.
And I was
absolutely
absolutely gutted.
Dylan rarely foreshadows anything, so for him, this was a big moment, and I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that there was no Rancor. Double because
this is 3 Men and a Baby like pranking me through the episode.
Oh, so good.
You're not going to get information out of anybody you throw into a Rancor pit, though.
But you know what? I still have hope. I reckon he's out there somewhere. Well, he is out there somewhere.
Moochie ain't coming back.
Moochie in episode 6.
I don't think
There's
so.
no way.
I think they're going to acquire a Rancor. Well, I don't know. Do they need one?
Well, they've got to put something down. I think we'll see the Rancor pit again, for sure.
Yeah, I think
There'll
we
be
will.
something in there.
Well, what if it's Goro? What if we get a Goro in the Rancor pit now?
A sand kraken. Oh dear. So he admits that he's sent by the mayor, and then we see a lot of Trandoshans that they look really nasty. They don't look happy to see him. And then how good did the mayor look, Cal? The Ithorian.
Yeah. I thought that was one of the best. Do you reckon that was? I couldn't tell if it was CGI or real.
No, it's
It was
puppeteering.
really, really well done.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of
Really,
augmenting, I reckon. Taking out the wires kind
it
of
was
stuff.
really clean, really good. I loved that. The just the walk, the guy with the moustache at the reception. I fucking laughed so hard. It's just like,
Was that the most relatable part of the scene for you, Cal?
This is a hipster who grabbed from Melbourne streets and just threw in there, and then it was just hilarious.
Let's leave Melbourne out of this.
He looked like like that guy from Office Space sort of thing, like just very tired. He seems so out of place. But and your friend the Major Domo, that you love, Cal.
He was hilarious. He is the funniest actor. I just thought I loved that he just walked past him. I was hoping he was going to shoot something. But
Sir. It reminds me of if you watch the Parks and Recreation, there's a bit where what's his name? Oh fuck! No, I've forgotten.
Come on, Dill. You got to get
Are you talking about the Patton Oswalt sort of scene
Ron
where
Swanson?
Yes.
Yeah, Ron Swanson. Yeah, that's it. He's in the center of the desk, and then the old lady's running around that circular desk while he turns his office chair away from her slowly, and she's like, "Sir, there's toxins in the water system." Anyway,
I loved. Sorry, you go, Josh.
Sorry, mate. I was just going to say, I didn't quite hear, like, the first episode when they kept talking about the mayor. I wasn't sure if it was like they were just using the word mayor. Like, whether I thought it was a Star Warsy word, like mayor. It was, like a fancy word for a for a character or a, and then it was just like, and I was like, oh no, it's the mayor. Like, it's Mayor Quimby. Like, it's literally like the mayor of the town.
Right. Were you thinking like MAIR or something?
Yeah, like some sort of like crazy stuff. Major Domo. Like, it's like another cultural word for an important person kind of thing. Like, oh no, it's just the mayor. It's just like the Lord Mayor of Mos Espa, with the chain around him kind of thing, cutting ribbons.
Yeah, well, we've had a whole bunch of new. We got Major Domo, we got Daimyo. You know, there's like, oh, mayor might just be another word that they're just chucking in for.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, it's just the mayor. Like he's literally the mayor.
So, do you, Josh? Do you think the mayor was the one who actually sent that assassin to kill him now, or because basically, he had some advice for him?
I think they're just in cahoots with the Hutts. To be honest,
the Hutts have told
they
them
just see
to
him
do
as
that.
like, yeah, like and it's just like we just blame each other. He's not going to. Who cares? He's just a bounty hunter who's killed somebody that, you know, it didn't seem like Bib Fortuna was particularly doing a great job anyway. Like, apart from keeping Jabba's palace clean, that was about all that he really did. So,
he also installed some new buttons.
Yeah, I mean, it became pretty clear that Boba Fett doesn't really know much about running in the underworld. So I think that his motivations for doing it, I think will become more and more clear as this goes on in these flashbacks and stuff. Like, it seems to be more about like giving rights to the Tuskens and the people and doing all that kind of thing. He's like, well, if I'm the crime boss, I can actually start influencing these things. And I fear for those Tuskens. We'll get to that. But, you know, it seems like I think the ambitions of being a crime lord, I think it's something that he's really harbored all his life and he really understands exactly what happens. You know, he's really just a gun for hire and all the machinations and stuff. I don't think he's quite figured out yet. So,
yeah, I agree with you on those Tuskens. I feel like he's on a bit of a spiritual journey, and what we're seeing is sort of so far from that something big has to happen. But we'll get to that. Because Josh, you're quite musical, mate. So just throw it off, Dylan. How did you feel about Rebo? I figure that's Figure and Dan, the Latin guitarist now, and the droid, the drumming droid.
Oh, look, I think it was cool, and I think like I listened when I watched that episode for the second time, because I watched it for the first time at Steele's thing. So we're just watching it on a big projector in a pub. You know, the sound isn't amazing and stuff because you're in a big room. So when I got home, I immediately watched it again with my headphones in. I think that song that was playing when they come in for the first time, like if you listen really carefully, and this is where I need someone like Strothers or Matt Frost or someone who like proper musos. I think it's it
is. It's 100%. It's called a fusion. It's like a
flamenco version. Yeah.
So it's flamenco. A fusion version.
So I was very happy to see Max Rebo band. I did make the reference on Steele's thing that he's gone a bit Murph and the Magic tones. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Blues Brothers. That basically when the Blues Brothers band breaks up, like the keyboardist starts his own little lounge band called Murph and the Magic Tones. And when the Blues Brothers go to reform, they find him in some dive hotel, you know, with like 3 members of the band left with his crappy little band. And that's kind of what happened to Max Rebo. He's lost all his mates. They all got blown up, but he's never given up the dream. You know, he's just sort of picked up the pieces and he's working. And to be fair, he's working probably the nicest place in Tatooine. Like most other bars in Tatooine are absolute shitholes. This place actually looks like it's quite, you know, it's a little bit, there's probably a bit shonkiness you scratch under the surface. It's probably like an Eastern European nightclub or something, you know, like it looks quite shiny and nice. But there's some shonky stuff going on in the back room.
Some naked Twi'leks out the back.
Oh yeah, there's some shady gear going on.
So how did the, when you heard, I mean, I didn't pick up on this. When they said the twins, I was like, what's the twins? And then.
Yeah, I got it twins straight away. Yeah. Then they referenced in a couple of books, I think, as well. But
okay.
And then the drum, and I was like, hear that faint drum? I was like, here they come.
Oh, wow.
How funny was the guys just struggling carrying those the weights?
They're playing the action. Like they're saying, they're playing the role really well. And then the fact that what's that thing called?
They got it like a ticket or something.
Litter, yes.
Litter, that was it.
It was like
litter.
Bending in the middle because they're so heavy. Like, gotta love the attention to detail. But funnily enough,
I didn't know why he took his helmet off at the end. Like, I know we'll get to that, but I hate him taking his helmet off all the time. I know we're going to see his face, but
it's probably really hot under there.
Yeah, it's really hot on Tatooine.
Plus, he's gone to all the trouble of getting his back to plastic surgery, skin looking good. He probably just wants to show it off. He's like, look how good I look. I got a tan and my teeth are white. Like, he's just like, look how good I am.
Choppers. He's got Tamara's like, you know, he's had a few lean years, Tamara Morrison. All of a sudden he's back doing Aquaman. He's back on Star Wars shows. He's like, I got these choppers relayed. I got these, you know, these teeth redone. I got my Hollywood teeth going.
He's been to Dr. D in Melbourne. Like,
just say he's been to Dr. Teeth from the Muppets. He always looks like that too.
So Frosty texted me when he watched it, and I want to be 100% accurate because I said to you, Josh, that I have a feeling he'll be a little bit miffed when he sees, was that a space guinea pig that the Hutt was using to wipe its sweat with?
Oh my God, that was funny.
Yeah. And he goes, for fuck's sake, did that Hutt just lather his face with a space guinea pig? This is Thursday at 12:50 at the break in between the cricket. He was filthy.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with guinea pigs when it comes to Matt. I think he loves those guinea pigs as much as he loves his children. I think just about. He's got some sort of crazy, intricate guinea pig paradise he's built in his backyard.
I know. We had him on the show, and what's it called? It's called Pig 1 or something. I can't remember the name.
Pig Strychnine.
Pig Strychnine. That's it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of names that got workshopped there for a while, and that's where he landed. I think.
I'm sure he had quite a few. But since having him on, me and him engaged, and just his banter is just sensational, and I can see why you have him as your co-host. He's just, I think Matt is the funniest guy. I just love his laid back, lackadaisical humor, and he just doesn't give a shit. And I am so here for it. It's that good.
He's the perfect tonic for the overexcitement and over expectations of things, you know, like he's not a hater, you know, he's just sort of like, let's just keep everything in check, guys, and let's just, you know, let's find the bits we like and make fun of the things that are silly. But I mean, those
guinea pigs.
Yeah, don't fuck with guinea pigs. I mean, those Hutt pricks, they're asking for a blaster in the face, aren't they? I said they were like Dennis and Sweet D from Always Sunny, like just two obnoxious twins kind of thing. But it was cool. I love Hutts, and I wish, you know, I assumed there'd be a Hutt in Solo, never happened. And these are the best looking Hutts we've had since, I think, Jabba, Return of the Jedi Jabba. I mean, Hutts, you know, Jabba has had some shonky CG in the last 20 years or so, but it seems like they're getting pretty close to, you know, something passable. I can't quite beat that puppet yet, though.
Nah, they're good. And I mean, just to follow on from there, I mean, you know, getting a blast to the face, they mentioned that we'd have to get permission. And I'll ask you, Dylan, permission from who? Who do you think they need to get the green light to kill a Hutt?
What's her name? The one that looks after Crimson Dawn now.
Kira,
that's it. Yeah, I think it'll be her. Because at this time, she's now the head of the Crimson Dawn, yeah? And she's considered to be, you know, the oversight for all these kinds of underworldly matters. So
very good deal.
That's my guess.
That's who I had. Josh, what do you think, mate?
Oh God, I kind of thought it would be like a collective sort of thing, you know, like there's all the different crime families.
Yeah, but they were all brought together by Maul, and because you know Maul took over the Hutts, Death Watch, Black Sun,
yep,
and they're all under the Crimson Dawn banner now. So, and he's the boss of that, but he's gone, and
I think they're still the door for in this timeline though.
Well, he died just before A New Hope. So who's running Crimson Dawn?
6 years. Yeah, well, I mean, Kira definitely is in the comics. I read that
War of the Bounty Hunters
run, and she's running the show there. I mean, you know, makes sense. Amelia Clarke, you know, would be available. I think she's
also doing that other series for Disney at the moment. So you know, she'll definitely be around.
Oh, she's doing a Marvel show, yeah. I mean, she just has to do it in a closet. I mean, that's the beauty of the volume. She just can literally go, hey, we'll just stick you in front of this, you know, different background, and now you're in the Book of Boba Fett. I think it'll be trickier if they try to wedge Han Solo into this series. What do they do? Do they get the guy
Han
around
Solo
who
is
plays
not-
Han Solo still? Or do
Not
you
the
get
Luke Skywalker moment of this show. Trust me.
No, I don't think so. But I don't know. I don't know whether they can be able to help themselves, but even if it's a flashback or something. But again, it's that. Do you do Harrison Ford? Do you get Alden back? They're going to do a Lando show. I always kind of feel like I don't mind Alden being Lando, but as soon as the timeline hits Harrison Ford, you show Harrison Ford from that point on. But we'll see.
So let's just
I
dial
don't
it
make
back
the rules.
because we've gone past the best Wookiee since Return of the Jedi.
Woohoo!
The baddest motherfucker.
That guy had fucking crazy eyes. Cal,
Yeah, I loved. That's one of my favorite things out of this whole episode. That was the sound was really well done. Like, and the music behind it. He was just staring at him like, I will fuck you up. He was just.
there's shit going down at some stage. That was a look like I'll see you later.
It was really well done. How good was the puppet or the costume?
Oh,
I just want to know who's the badass in that suit. Like, he was humongous. I'd like to have some big scary looking dude or lady in that suit too.
Dylan mentioned Black Chrysanthemum about a year ago, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, so I don't remember what episode it was, but I think I mentioned this and how there was, Ben Kenobi had fought this Wookiee a while ago, and once we actually saw Black Chrysanthemum in this episode, I actually didn't know it was him at first, like, because I had doubts. I'm like, surely they haven't brought him in here, but everything makes sense. Because he at one point worked with Boba. He used to work for Jabba, was hired by Vader. But everything before, because he actually left Tatooine originally I think it was in the comics, after failing to kill Owen, and Kenobi scarred him.
Hostage,
Yeah. So
they're really connecting Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Really.
Yeah, and he's got one of the coolest fucking things about him, I think in the episode, if you pay attention, he's actually wearing knuckle dusters, but he's actually in his lore, these two brothers, I don't remember who they were, but they actually took out his bones and replaced them with steel. So he's actually supposed to have natural knuckle dusters that he uses.
Wolverine Wookiee.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it's pretty sick.
Wow.
Yeah, I reckon. I read Dr. Aphra when he was in it.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'd read the Dr. Aphra comics when he first turned up, so I did recognise him right away. I was like, oh, shit, they're doing him. Oh, that's cool. They're bringing in these comic characters. So, yeah, he's a cool character. Like, why not?
Because he was in it. He was in it for a while, wasn't he, Josh? There's a few of them.
Yeah, he was in the run for a while. I'm just trying to, like you said, he's popped up in a bunch of stuff. He's a pretty consistent character in that now, and he's quite interesting that he was sort of like a Wookiee that, most of the Wookiees seem to be pretty nice, pretty noble creatures, and he's just like, fuck y'all. I think he got banished for being a piece of shit, but of course he's big tough and he's a Wookiee, so he got into different line of work. But yeah, I mean, I'd really love to see Dr. Aphra turn up in something too. But I don't know if this is the show to do it though.
Do you think we'll see? It's the something Auntie. What's their name, Josh? Zonti brothers or something? The ones that actually like took him in to start with when he left Kashyyyk.
Oh God,
banished.
I have to go back and check.
Or banished. Sorry, banished.
Possibly.
Anyways.
I don't know whether he'll get that much backstory, but like you said, I think he was going to throw down. I mean, they're all sort of. At the moment, they're moving all these pieces into. Bob is sort of finding himself backed into a corner more and more of these. He's already got the mayor on the wrong side. Now he's got the Hutts on the wrong side. They got a bit of muscle and things. He's trying to work this line of. He's basically like, he didn't want to kill the assassin. He found a way of tricking him. He didn't want to shoot the mayor. He's sort of trying to do this without as unmessy as possible. Yeah, but it seems to be. It seems like he's getting backed into a corner.
Yeah, well, I said this last episode, Josh, and I'm keen to hear your thoughts. Do you think there's a good cop, bad cop thing going on with Fennec? So, you got Fennec as the ruling with the iron fist, and Boba's sitting back being the good guy, trying to rule respectfully.
Yeah, a little bit. And I don't know whether that's... I mean, it's hard to say because people go like, "Oh, it's not true to the character" or whatever else, that he's a bit softer or whatever like that. But we don't really know anything about him that much, apart that he was very sort of determined and good at his job, and his job was sort of bounty hunting, which is a legal profession. You know, like he does what he does to get the job done, but he doesn't seem to just kill people for the hell of it. He'll just work for whoever pays and things. And he's been out of the game a while, so. I think whatever happened to those Tusken Raiders or something to do with the Tusken Raiders is put him on this path a little bit. And he's been away for 5 years, and Fennec's obviously, she's been through this whole thing. She's been through the galaxy. She's seen everything that's gone down. She saw the fall of the Empire. Like, does Boba Fett even know that the Empire's not around? Has anyone actually told him? Like, last time he fell in the pit, he, at some point he's going to have to find out that the Empire aren't in control anymore. So...
He fell into the pit for 5 years and
he didn't fall
sounds like he was fat. No.
I know he was only in the pit for
5 minutes.
Yeah, but it seems like he's been in the bush. You know, we see him at the end of that Mandalorian episode when he gets his armor. He's still got the Tusken Raider gear in it, and he's still in the desert. So, I mean, something's going to happen in between. But it doesn't seem like he's gone anywhere, at least off world.
I think he knows though, because remember when he chases the Death Troopers and he's like, "They're back, the Empire." So I guess he knew to a certain extent.
I'm sure by then someone's filled him in.
But I mean, I don't understand why. That line always felt me weird because they just were fighting stormtroopers for like 10 minutes, and then there's like the Empire's back because this is a Star Destroyer. I'm like, pretty sure the stormtroopers mean they're back. So anyway.
Yeah, again,
nitpicking as usual.
Yeah, nitpicking. I mean, I'm not sure, but yeah, I know what you mean by Fennec bad cop. I mean, like I said, I think she's been around this whole time. She kind of knows how the world works a little bit. Maybe Boba's got a little bit spiritual out in the desert and is just trying to get this done a certain way. And I think there'll be a push come to shove. I think when they're in a corner and she's like, "Look, dude, you want to get this done? You're gonna have to crack some heads. You're gonna have to spill some blood." And maybe there's some tension between them. He's just like, "I'm not going to do it." And he's like, "Well, you're a pussy and I'm going to go do it myself, or I'm going to run things. I'm going to run things my way."
Well, he shot Bib in the face, so he didn't have a problem with that. But
that's true.
I reckon he's going to, like you said, he's going to be in the back. He's going to get backed into a corner, and then he's just going to rage and just start slaying people.
He's got the eyes, man. We've seen it, especially this episode. Jesus.
Well, it's quite funny. So 16 minutes of modern day story we got, and then we got 36 minutes. That's your cue. Getting to the back to juice tank, getting the memory flashback tank, and we hit the gaffy training. We sort of see him learning on the gaffy sticks and fighting the woman, and then we get the train going past. That's another new addition to Tatooine that we didn't know about. So I like how they're adding to the world of Tatooine, and they're not spoiling it. And then they're drawing on those American Indian vibes. Sort of this happened back in 1700 with the train, and trains back there, and you're sort of getting some more depth into these Tuskens with their death rituals, and that sort of sets the episode on its course. As Boba then goes, I'm going to stop the train, and we head to Toshi Station. Did you know? Were you expecting this, Josh?
I mean, I recognized it at the time. Like once we went in there, I mean, it was kind of funny that it was just like this biker gang, and they literally had like their Sons of Anarchy jackets on and all this kind of stuff like that. I thought that was quite funny. And then, I mean, I'd seen those deleted scenes back in the day with Cammy and Fixer and all that kind of thing, and they're still just going to the same bar, living the same sort of crappy life, whether they know what happened to Luke Skywalker or not, or whether they just assume it's a different Luke Skywalker. Maybe it's a, somewhat common name or something. They figure that Luke actually got killed by the, when the homestead burnt down or anything, or maybe news just doesn't even travel that far. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I don't mind. It's one of those cameos things where it's like if you got it, you got it. If you didn't, they're just some randos in a bar that serves the purpose that Boba has to kick some butt to steal the bikes and things. And yeah, it was cool. I mean, like they found people who look just like him. If you look at those photos from the lady especially who played Cammy, whatever her name is. Like she looks just like her, like even perfectly sort of just aged that little bit. be curious to see if they do a behind the scenes thing of like whether they had to CG her or whether they had to just do makeup, or they just found some lady who just looked like the other lady, or it's her daughter or something. I don't know.
No, well, it's yeah. I that was a great little. It landed a lot better than it's when done right. It's great. Like I loved it was Toshi Station, like for like, sort of the door, everything, and then Luke's childhood friends. Like it's sat a lot better than Dr. Everson and Ponda Baba on Jeddah in Rogue One. That's like your cameo nostalgia moment that just didn't hit really well by comparison.
Yeah, it was a bit more blatant. I mean, it makes sense for those guys to kind of just be there as well. You're going to that area of the same area, and you're going to the bar, and there's only probably so many places to get a drink in Tatooine, and that's where the bikers are and stuff. It's just, I just thought it was weird that they just had biker gangs in Tatooine. It's just a weird place where it's the arse end of nowhere, but it's got crime syndicates and space trains and biker gangs, and I have to read on the history of it. I think it is actually strategically in a useful place in the galaxy, I think, which is why people use it. But I don't know. Luke always said it was the arse end of the universe, so who knows?
I know. And so, Dylan, you're a bike man. So, I mean, how did the biker scenes and the Tusken training hit you?
It was cool. I think the one thing I noticed about this biker, the Nikto gang there was, and back to our little Kira comment, do you think that they're involved with Kira and Crimson Dawn? Maybe there's like these little under gangs, or because it's a possibility that could be their way of hinting towards Kira.
I thought they were working with the
other
Pikes.
crime syndicates. Oh, okay. So the Niktos are working with the Pikes.
Well, I think like you saw the train go past, and then Boba saw the bikes go past, and sort of that's why he sort of knew that he could stop the train. I don't know. Like I don't know if they were connected to the train or part of that. I don't know.
I just thought they were just some random local dickheads, because like they have that in the first episode. He sees them trashing that homestead, so I think that kind of establishes that he sees they're around.
That's what I was saying last episode. So because they're stealing water, that's what they're doing. This Nikto gang, and whether that's just for them to hydrate themselves or whatever. Because
wash their bikes
in this episode, yeah, that too. But going to the Tusken training, I think in earlier in the episode, or when the mayor's talking about that comment, it's harder to run. I'm going to butcher this comment. Does someone know?
It's harder to run a family.
Yep, than
bounty hunting.
Correct.
Thank you.
It's interesting that he says that, because Boba and his. I would consider this his new family of the Tuskens. It sort of contradicts that, he knows both of these worlds now. So, very interesting.
How cool was the crafting of the gaffy stick?
Well, as we thought, he had his intermediary gaffy stick to start with, and as he's trained up,
he's still got his training levels.
The training wheels one, wasn't it? Yeah.
He started off with just a piece of wood, and then probably at the time they probably didn't know we could trust him yet. They said, "I will give you the wood, the strong wooden one," and then, but he graduates to the full metal one. But at the end, we'll go into that. But let's just.
Have you seen the movie The Other Guys with Will Ferrell?
Yes.
Where he's the policeman with Marky Mark, and then he shoots Marky Mark tricks him into shooting his gun in the police station, so they give him a wooden gun just to walk around with. Like, he doesn't even get a real gun. He's just walking around with this wooden gun. That's what I just kept thinking of, that like he's just been given this like wooden Garfy stick that can't really do anything.
I haven't seen that movie, but that is hilarious.
It's worth a look. Very funny movie.
Definitely looking for something non-Star Wars to watch in between Wednesdays, so that'll kill 2 hours. But the train attack, I mean, this is, sort of Robert Rodriguez's fault. I mean, I know he didn't direct this, but he's heavily involved, and the action scenes here were just so good. And then when the female warrior just goes bunter on the train when they're sort of in peril.
How good, eh?
Like,
fuck this speeder. Bang. I like the droid at the front, the droid going nuts. That was cool. I really like that. It all seemed legit.
Yeah,
I think I said this on my review that I did, I thought he looked like he was done stop motion. Like it didn't look like he was CG.
Yeah,
like the way that he moved looked
Yeah.
like a sort of a stop motion thing. I'll be curious to see when they
I'll have to rewatch it back.
When they do the making of stuff, where they go, hey, some of the old farts at ILM wanted to do something stop motion-y, they wanted to pull out the old stop motion camera, so we got them to do the robot, because it had that really sort of, like the robots in RoboCop kind of thing, or the 80s Terminator kind of, just that movement thing where it's sort of, I'll be curious to go back. I thought maybe it was my TV or something because the movement was weird. Like I've got that weird motion scrolling thing going, but no, I checked it on my iPad and it was the same. Yeah.
No, he had so many arms. And, like, did you get like sort of like a Back to the Future vibe from this train scenes?
There's a bit of that. Back to the Future 3.
Back to the Future 3. Well, it's funny, like the director of photography did all 3 Back to the Futures. So he was a specialist in sort of train scenes. And I mean, I thought it would have been, Brinkett said this to me the other day, like when he sort of jumps into the cockpit of the train, it would have been, he goes, it would have been so funny if he goes, I'm conducting a science experiment. But it would have been
Isn't
so
Mad Max 3 on a train as well? Isn't Beyond Thunderdome a finale of that on a train? I have to go back and watch. That's my least watched Mad Max movie, but I think the finale of that is like some sort of train related thing as well. Love a good train.
Well, they were saying that this is like a real Lawrence of Arabia style homage, and Back to the Future part of that as well. So no, it was, I mean, it's just so good, this scene. I mean, we got 36 minutes of this as opposed to 16 of the thing, but just so much backstory has been filled now. And, over the past 2 episodes, if you take them as, first half and second half, it's just so good.
How many episodes? Is it 8 episodes?
7 episodes. So we're 2/7
down. Yeah, I feel
5
like
to
it's
go.
probably, I mean, I kind of thought that maybe there wouldn't, I made the mistake of going, after the first episode going, maybe there isn't much more backstory. Maybe he's like implied that he's got the respect at the end of the first episode and stuff. But I feel like that's going to switch. Like I think there'll be less and less backstory and more.
Yeah,
I think so, but I think they're gonna do something with those Tuskens. Something's happening to these Tuskens that sets Boba off on. I'm gonna bring law and order my way to this planet because I need to right a wrong, or something has to happen of why And in order to do that, I'm gonna need my armor. I'm gonna need to do these things. And that's
I thought of the
Tuskens
Tuskens helping him. Like say he's in the shit, even Tuskens could come and help him. He's got fucking 2 green people that are there to help him. That's it. Do you know? That's it.
Like the whole Jabba's palace is completely empty. Like what kind of Mickey Mouse operation are they running there? Like it's weird. Like I know he's just taken over from Bib Fortuna, but it seemed like Bib Fortuna as well was just like, I just won't leave. I'll lock the door of Jabba's palace and eat myself to death, and then effectively I'll be in charge. Everyone just go on with their day.
Well, I mean, what did you think of the live action Pikes, Josh?
Cool. I like them. I mean, I like that, design wise, they just matched what was in Solo, but they took the masks off and stuff. That was cool. And I thought it looked really well. I think it was probably, again, a little bit puppet, a little bit CG, probably a little blend of stuff. Pretty harsh making them walk back in the desert. And
how funny was it? They all looked up. What? They all looked up like you're making this fucking walkie bastard.
Yeah, they probably really
love
hate
that
being
one.
on Tatooine as it is, really. I did like when he's like,
the negotiator.
what does Spice look like? Like, it's that Simpsons, like, what's a truck? Like, it was all that sort of, yeah, but I don't know. I think they might be back. Like, I think they're going to come back and they're going to lay waste to those poor Tuskens. I think something bad's going to happen. I think he's poked the bear kind of thing.
I think it does. The Pikes come back with vengeance in all, I mean, with the Martez sisters and all stuff, you see them there and in Solo. So, no, I think they'll be back. And he started, he's poking a lot of bears. But the humor was good as well. It's like, what is Spice? It's like, that is Spice. This isn't looking good for you. Like, M's really putting his, Kiwi
he said
humor.
bugger? He said bugger?
Yeah, he did say bugger as well. Yeah.
But, and like, we sort of get some really good backstory into the whole Tusken Raider. Like it's called the Dune Sea. I never once thought Tatooine had ocean. Like it was actual sea. I thought it was a desert of sea. I don't know, but apparently Tatooine was once lush and ocean, and these Jawas and Tuscans are the native inhabitants of and they survive the post-apocalyptic changes to Tatooine, and these two are the tribes of Tatooine, maybe. So yeah, they're really filling in some us, world story building.
Global warming in a couple of 100 years, when we've wrecked the earth, and it was just all desert everywhere, and we'll all be scratching around in camps like the poor Tuscan Raiders. It's like, wow, should have learned a few things from those Tuscan Raiders. Now we're just out there digging, looking for melons looking for watermelons.
The melon thing, I still just blows me up. Just dig over here.
Like
there's a melon.
Watermelons.
But they're not they're not watermelons. They're milk melons. He said they're milk.
Well, it's like coconut milk. May as well be water. Coconut water.
So, and then we sort of move on to the sort of the weird and wacky moment of this, and I think Frosty said, a nose lizard is definitely my kind of weird Star Wars.
That was cool. I did not expect that.
No, I didn't either. I mean, if I'm going to a festival, I want to go with Tuscan Raiders. Just give me if I'm about to die, give me the worm of life, and if I want to party, give me the lizard.
You just go to Glastonbury and go to Stone Circle with the lizard up your nose and have a good old time.
Go to Coachella dressed as a Tuscan Raider with a army of lizards, hallucinogenic lizards.
He held it up and then it jumped back in. That was cool.
And he's like, "Oh, sorry, mate. I think I swallowed it. Swallow that bugger." I was just like,
he was so polite. Like he got given the lizard and he's just like, "Oh, a lizard. Oh, thank you. I guess thanks for the sweet lizard, bro." Like it was like such New Zealand politeness. Yeah, and then he goes on that kind of it was a bit like that Simpsons episode where Homer eats the chili. And he goes on the crazy trip through the golf course.
Oh,
and things
yes.
like that. Don't you got to see that? It was a bit like that.
I got the remember that Entourage episode where they take the mushrooms and they go to Joshua Tree and they sort of just wig out because it was sick. Like you had the Dune Sea with water, the special tree, the Sarlacc escape, and it seemed like some sort of rebirth of Boba Fett. Dill, what about you? What are you thinking here when you're seeing all this play out?
Yeah, well, it was just a massive play to the cinematography and the imposing that whole scene of, like you're saying, the sand, the water, the tree, the symbolic nature of large tree, small tree. You've got the two races that run Tatooine pretty much, or inhabit. My favorite moment was the Boba's head imposed into Jango's helmet in Attack of the Clones, and then as he's seeing his dad go away, he reaches out as he's crying for Jango. He's leaving him, and there he is, his hands coming out of the ground as Boba Fett from the Sarlacc pit. So that was really, really powerful. I think seeing that the second time round was, I paid a lot more attention to it this time, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it sort of indicated he's no longer a clone of Jango. That's his identity. He's got his own identity now.
Like you said, it's like he's been reborn. So,
as a pussy,
which also means maybe why he doesn't wear the helmet all the time. Like I kind of thought maybe he wore the helmet a lot because it was a giveaway that he was a clone. Because people all knew what clones look like, and then if you go back and watch Attack of the Clones, Jango actually keeps his helmet off for a lot of it, just when he's sort of kicking around. Maybe he gets to that point where he's just like, all right, well, I don't need to hide. I can be me. I can, show my face again. I don't have to hide behind the helmet anymore.
Well, I also take it in the sense of, he doesn't need to hide behind the helmet. He's strong enough to be able to take whoever it is on and look them in the eye. It's, some people might see it as disrespectful looking from behind a visor or something like that. That's how I took it, at least.
It's pretty sick. It's hopefully, I reckon it's gonna ramp up. He's gonna start cracking a few skulls soon.
He cracked.
I think so.
There was a point where
Callan, what are you talking about? He kicked ass.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still not. I want to start seeing some fucking wrist fucking rockets. And
How hard is too hard, Callan?
Well, that was loud. How close to the mic did you go? Fuck.
Yeah, literally like right up.
That was.
There's a
I
point there where he
felt
wants
you
that.
invaded my personal space.
Wait, if I talk from the side of the mic, does it sound like I'm talking from the side here?
It does.
We're getting in stereo here.
What about this here?
Please stop, Josh. Continue, mate.
Oh, that's okay. I was going to say, like, there was obviously a point that he feels like he needs that armor again. Like, at the moment, it doesn't seem like it's a priority at all. Like, he's not like going, I got to get out of this freaking hole and find my armor, or I've got to, ditch these Tuskens. Like, it doesn't even seem to be on his mind whatsoever. So I still think there's a point where he feels like he needs that armor, because it was always kind of weird that he, the Cobb Vanth had the armor. It seemed like it wasn't particularly hidden. And then when Mando takes off with it, then all of a sudden he's like, I've got to track this down and I've got to get it. So I kind of feel like there's maybe partially timing of why he needs it at that point, or whether it's, serving a purpose. It's serving a purpose to do something, because, Cobb Vanth's using it to liberate the town. He's just like, all right, well, it's serving a purpose. And then
and stationary, like it's in Mos Pelga. I know where it is, but now
I know where it is.
It's on Mando shit. That could be anywhere at any moment. I'm not going to be able to keep an eye on it. So
and now I actually need it. Something's happened that means I need it. So
you go, deal, mate.
Do you think that we'll ever see in this series where, because what you've said there, Josh, about the armor makes me think, will he swap the armor for his robes again at some point? I don't need the armor.
Well, he wears them underneath now. Like, he's kind of incorporated
heritage now.
So his outfit now
Tusken
he wears
He does too. Well,
Well, maybe something happens that he gets mortally wounded again, because he's now back with the armor, but he seems to be heavily reliant on Bacta. So no, it's exciting. Like, we got lots to look for. I mean, we got the robing ceremony, which sort of brings us up to speed with where he was at in the Mando. And one thing of note was that the Tuskens, they seem so spiritual, and you've got the sea, the tree, the death rituals. This is all very, very Jedi-like as well. I'm not saying they're Force sensitive, but maybe we're seeing their sort of interpretation of the Force and spirituality laid out in this episode. And I love the dance finale at the end. It's sort of very, very Harker-like. Like, Tem's sort of like, he's going, I'll do this, but we're going to do this with a bit of, I'm going to do it my way with a bit of my culture, and there's no ifs or buts.
I love that. That was cool.
It was sick. Like, it was such the music. I'm coming around on the music even more. Like, at first I was like, because the Mando tune is iconic. Like, it's so good. And, I'm sure we were all dancing like morons after the end of every episode. And I know it wasn't just me. I used to pick up my dog and like dance with the dog. And, anyway, I'm starting to get these choir boys. I'm enjoying these choir boys at the end. Dum, da, dum, 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 dum. So, mate, good episode. Josh, give us a rating. A, B, C, D, plus, minus. Where does this sit for you, mate?
I'll give it a B.
A B.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to give it a solid B.
Check.
Just because
What would you give the first episode?
Probably a B minus.
Okay. I gave the first
Maybe I'm being
episode
harsh,
a B. I'm going to give this. I'm going to give this a B plus. I'm going to give this a B plus.
You want to leave something in the tank for
you know to leave something in the tank.
When Han Solo flies in and shoots Bosk and the Houndstooth, that's going to be A plus moment. So
well, Dave Filoni's doing episode 6.
Oh, well, then Ahsoka's coming back. Dill, what about you, buddy?
Can I give it a B plus plus?
No, that's lame.
It's an A minus, isn't
Just
it?
give it an A minus.
Yeah. I don't want to give it the A ranking, but I'll give it an A minus.
I thought it was A minus as well. I'm giving it A minus.
You had so many Star Wars throw-ins here of the extra bits and pieces, and a lot more for us to brainstorm about. So I think Matt, you and I, and Cal, if you're welcome, I think there's a lot for us to talk about behind the scenes.
Oh, for sure. And this is the great part. Live action Star Wars is so good.
This is the best.
And and I love that it's Sunday night and we are only 3 days out from the next episode. I mean, this Wednesday thing is really working for me because
breaks.
all of our US podcasts are sort of, they do Wednesday, Thursday, so they get to review the episode quickly. You got Hawes, God, that guy's excited. Like, I'm listening to Hawes, at rants at 3 a.m. on his time at like 8 p.m. our time, and he was loving it. And Josh, you're joining him next week. So
I am, yeah.
Episode 3 better be a good one.
I know it's pressure. I think when I was on there last for Mandalorian was the week that the Disney Plus day happened and they dropped all those TV show announcements.
Yeah, so, 2 hours of content to talk about.
Yeah, so that'll be great if something like that drops as well. Not that we can't talk about one thing, but hey, it's always nice to have announcements as well.
I'm sure Slave One's coming next week, and like Zuckuss fall on Bosk and Dengar come back, and they just have some mad bounty hunter party, and you'll have oodles to talk about. But where to next, do you think, Josh? What do you think we're going to get next week?
I think we're going to get something bad happens to those Tusken Raiders.
Yeah.
I think and that might be one of the very last flashbacks, and I think that'll be the impetus to what happens next to Boba, and I think we'll get a little bit more time in the present. So I'm not quite sure what that'll be exactly, whether it's more Hutt stuff or whether he's just trying to learn the ropes a little bit more. I feel like this will be a bit of a half and half, and then I think from 4 on, I think it'll just be more about what happens in the present, I reckon.
Cal, where do you think? What is happening next, buddy?
Yeah, I think I'm really along the same lines as Josh there. I either think the Tuskens are going to get fucked up, or they're going to help Mr. Boba. So I think, I think it'll be, they'll come and save the day. It'll be something weird. But the Tuskens, I'm loving them being in there. So I'm excited. 3 days. That's a big win.
Oh yeah. Although the end of the week Friday was good because you get to the end of the work week, you're like, oh, thank God that's over. Like, go to the pub. No, sorry, I'm going home to watch Star Wars. Bye. Dill, what do you think we're seeing next?
Everything. No, but realistically, I think I'm with you guys on potentially the Pikes coming into play again for sort of a bit of revenge play. I'm still rooting for a Moochie Rancor return. But if we see a Bosk or anything of the sort, or even more of Black Chrysanthemum, man, I'm going to lose my mind. If we see Slave One and a seismic charge at any point, I will lose my mind.
Well, Slave One's coming. It's not far off. Like, in the trailers, we saw Boba in Tusken outfit in front of the Slave One. That's coming very soon.
Do you reckon we're going to get? This is a bit of a funny thing, but a million Tusken Raiders come over the sand dunes in a medieval style.
All the tribes.
What do you think? You're going to have some sort of like
Pikes
Avengers
v. Tuskens
Portals moment where it's like poor Boba's just fighting off against all the Pikes, and then all these Tuskens come out of nowhere.
Yeah, fucking oath. That'd be awesome. Cheesy, but awesome.
We're not getting that. But I think we're really well placed now because, I mean, the Pikes are pissed off. The Hutts are pissed off. The Mayor's pissed off, which opens up, the Hutts could bring in more bounty hunters to take down Boba, which opens up Bosk, Zuckuss, Forlom, Dengar, Cad Bane.
Is IG still around? IG-88?
Josh, it's a bit of a funny one. They didn't use IG-88 in Mando because otherwise they'd have to give George Lucas money because if they reference something, I don't know. Apparently that's why they did IG-11 and not IG-88.
Right.
Really? Didn't they sell the whole thing?
I think I don't know. Like that
seems like a weird
I heard the
rumor.
Weird copyright transactional clause. If you use anything old, I get some money back. I don't know. But why didn't they use IG-88? I guess they probably need to start fresh. But
Yeah, I think because they redeemed the
IG-11
character
was-
as well.
Yeah, into like a nursing character. So
and then
Anyway.
to avoid all those fans going, not my IG-88. All those angry fanboys, raging rhinos. No, I think we're really well placed. Like, you know, I think we'll probably get back to our, 33, 37 minute episode. But, you know, that was 2/3 flashback, 1/3 present day. I think you'll sort of move away from that narrative. But although I'm loving the whole Godfather 2 vibe where you sort of get past and present and, you know, you flashback, flash in, and it's good. But yeah, I think we're ready for some really hardcore new storytelling and some big action. Nice. So we're 3 days away, guys. What about a watch this week? Are you all free? No, obviously, Josh, you've got COVID. You might have COVID, and you're in Melbourne, so you're exempt.
I hope not.
But we're gonna have Turbo over this week and Wednesday night. Let's do it.
Could be, yeah. Lock it
Nice.
in. Lock it in.
Excellent. Well, I'm pumped. It's 3 sleeps. No, yeah, 3 sleeps. 3 sleeps away. Josh, why don't you tell the fine people where they can find you? Past, present, and future.
Yeah, I've got a podcast called Star Wars Spelt Out, as you mentioned before. So we're actually doing stuff pretty regular now. Book of Boba Fett's out. I've got my cousin Eli, who's a big Boba Fett fan. He's been checking in every week, doing his little reviews and things, which has been really fun, having him to chat to it about. So been doing that as much as I can, and hopefully doing another sort of detour episode. We did the Beatles one a few weeks ago when Get Back came out. And I think we're going to do another one soon about a show called The Goodies that some of you may know, some of you may not know. And I also do the Peppa Pig podcast with Matt, but we're on Christmas break, holiday break. So we'll be back, I don't know, a couple of weeks when we get around to it. When it happens, it's only podcasting, you know.
I'll tell you my favorite Peppa Pig. I love when Miss Gazelle is about to launch into a song and she just goes, woo! It's my favorite, most enjoyable moment of Peppa Pig.
She used to be a rock star, Madame Gazelle.
Really? No,
yeah, she had her own band and everything.
Lives for the theme. Excellent. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, mate. We could talk Star Wars all night, although it is getting rather late. So thank you for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. And, it's good to see you guys.
Forward to more and more Star Wars content. So nothing else to say other than may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with all of us. Take care, boys.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate you listening. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review, as it really helps the channel. We will be back next Sunday to discuss episode 3 of the Book of Boba Fett. We'll catch you all then.